Hello, seventh graders. So today again is going to be another short video. It's going to be me reviewing the guided reading and review from yesterday. Okay, so your homework for yesterday was to read 9.1 and to also fill out the guided reading and review, just like it says on that calendar that I have shared with you guys. So make sure you keep checking that out and you're also following the Google Classroom, so that way we can all stay on the same page. I have finished grading the assessments, Chapter 8 assessments that have been turned in. I am still missing some, okay? So if you are someone who has not turned in your Chapter 8 assessment, make sure you do so as soon as possible, please, okay? I have been making phone calls home, so if you receive one from me, expect that, okay? So please get your stuff in so I leave you alone that way. All right. Let's go over your guided reading and review. Question number 1, what are some of the ways that people travel to work every day in New York City? Okay, what's different about New York City from, say, Marquezan? Okay, obviously the pure size of it. All right, with all the people and the size, different ways of getting to work. For example, I have to guess most of your parents probably drive to work every day, okay, unless you live right next to where you work. In New York City, it's a little different, okay? So you might live across town from where you work, but cars aren't necessarily the biggest way of transportation there. And the reason why is because there are so many of them, okay? And because you live so close to one another, there's really no place to park a car unless you live in a really, really expensive house, okay? So most people use either taxis or buses or subways, which is a train, underground train, okay, in order to get from one part of the city to another in order to go to work. 2, what is the Northeast megalopolis? Okay, that's a really fancy word for huge urban area. Okay, and what that is it actually stretches from Boston to New York City to Washington, D.C. And the reason it's called the megalopolis is because there are so many big cities and small suburbs in there that it almost seems like if you were to drive all the way from Boston to Washington, D.C., you would never not be in a city because all of those suburbs and cities have grown together to make one big urban area. 3, in what areas of work are millions of urban Northeasterners employed today? You could say healthcare or finance, which means money. Okay, those are the real jobs that it mentions in this area. There are some industrial areas like Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, so factories, healthcare, and finance are the big areas for the Northeast. What are some things for which Boston is famous? There's some famous colleges there to start with. So you have Harvard and you have MIT, okay, which are in Cambridge, which is a small city outside of Boston, a suburb. Okay, and by small, I mean it's still a very large city, but smaller than Boston. There are famous hospitals in Boston. The American Revolution started in Boston. Okay, those are all things that you could have for your answer for number 4. Number 5, why is Philadelphia described as an industrial center? It is on the Delaware River, which gives it many advantages in creating industry, and industry is factories, okay? So it's called an industrial center because there are many factories there that they make chemicals in, and they make medical supplies, and they make tools and everything from that because it's located in such a good area to trade. 6, why is New York City described as our nation's money capital? That would be earlier. So things like Wall Street are located in New York City, okay? And all those people on Wall Street work with like the stock market and things like that, the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so a lot of money is traded in New York, and so that's kind of why it gets that name, okay, because of Wall Street. Reviewing key terms, commute means to travel. 8, megalopolis is a very, very, very large urban area. In this case, it's from Boston to New York to Washington, D.C. And then finally, population density is the amount of people per square mile. Okay? Well, that brings me to the end of my guided reading and review. One quick reminder, please turn in your Chapter 8 assessment if you have not done so. That goes in as a test grade. If you have questions, please continue to email me as I'm here to help you out, okay? Make sure you're turning your stuff in. Make sure you stay healthy. Have a good day.